Today we're working on the glove box. We're just going to go ahead and switch it out. So we're going to get that plastic one installed. By default, this is like a cardboard. It's still not in terrible shape. It's probably original to the car, close to it, but it's originally made of cardboard. If you rub your hand on it though, you will see that it is kind of dusty. So in it right now is just kind of a bunch of stuff. These collars and harnesses are actually from our dog Zero. So Zero's a black lab that we got in 2014. He was an awesome dog, and he unfortunately passed away a couple years ago from stomach cancer. And he used to ride around in this car all the time with us. So we had this hanging from the mirror from the longest time, these collars, but these are his, which is just so crazy. They've been in here ever since then. So his harness and his collar, and he looked good in blue. He really did. We also have a mini bug in here, because why not? So that's in here as well. And then just some miscellaneous receipts and stuff for parts, I'm sure. The box cutter in here, an old box cutter. Yeah, that's the glove box that we have. All cardboard, like I said. So we have to access this from the, not engine bay, but trunk in the front. And then we can get that switched out to that nice plastic one. So that's what we're going to do today. Pretty simple day, just one thing, because we are planning some of the big next steps for this thing here too. So let's go ahead and get into the front area, the hood, to get this switched out. Awesome. So I have these handy lights that are magnetic. They're awesome, especially when working on a bug, because you're able just to kind of like stick them to the hood up here, and then they light everything up nicely. I got a couple of them, which is really awesome. So let me throw the other one on here too. Very, very awesome when you're working under here. Cool. So you can see the old versus the new here. So we have that plastic one that's new, and then the old that has some water damage as well. I'll probably save the old one, I don't know yet. I just always hate throwing away old parts, but we'll see. So let's go ahead and see what we need to take this off. It looks like it's held on with a single screw, so let me get a ratchet on this. So I'm gonna go ahead and estimate that might be a 7mm. Looks like it might have been. And it's actually pretty loose anyway, so. There we go, 1 bolt. It was a 7mm bolt, it looks like. It's not, it was just hand loose. We'll figure out what size bolt it is. So it is a 8mm, so I got the right wrench for that now. It should come right out. There we go. Now we can see through. So there is a little spring in there that helps the thing open and close. Let's oil that and see if it helps, because this thing's kind of hard to open and close. Let me get some oil on that. We'll just kind of soak it, and then I'll get a towel to wipe up the remainder. This side doesn't look like it had a spring at any point. Awesome. Let's kind of get in here some too. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and spray some degreaser on here too, because who knows the next time this will be exposed like this. Might as well get it a little cleaner. So it does go around all those lips. It's a pretty snug fit. Alright, so I've been messing around with this for a second. I knocked the camera down. But this thing is deeper than the old one. So I need a longer screw, I think. So we're getting a deeper glove box out of this, which is cool, but yeah, I need a deeper screw to get this in here, it looks like. So let me see if I have a screw that'll work, so that's the next step. Alright, so here's what we got. I have one that's slightly longer, so we're gonna see if that works. And it's about the same size. It's also a Phillips head instead, which is kind of nice. So let's see. It seems like it reaches. It sucks working under the sun. All right, so we ended up working on a bigger screw there, so that way that's held on pretty good. And you can see it's all secured with that metal strap now. So next thing is we'll just go ahead and put on this cover too, because it's been loose this whole time and I'm afraid of breaking it. The old one was that cardboard as well. So we're going to go ahead and go with this plastic one now. And to get all this other stuff fixed, like the speedometer cable, we'll just take it off when that time comes. But we'll get it on here, that way it's out of the way for now. So we'll do that next. So in order to secure this thing, it looks like it hooks up in here with these tabs. And we have 2 bolts. The bolts don't have any nuts on them. Who knows where they went after all this time. But luckily I have a little box, so we're going to try to find what the match is here. So I hope this is it. We might actually have the correct one. If not, I'm gonna have to look it up and go get one. That feels pretty darn close. So let me get another wrench for that. I'm gonna take a guess that that's probably not a 10 millimeter. Fun. It's actually 11 millimeter. Cool. That looks like it fits though. That thing's all secured now. I don't know if those are exactly the right size, so I'm gonna look that up and change them out if I need to. But for now, that thing's out of the way. It's really clean. I've never seen this car with that covered, so it's kind of crazy. And then we'll come in here. And we can see that the glove box is all good to go. It's a dark glove box now, kind of crazy to see too. Close it. And it now pops open because I oiled that, so it used to be very difficult to open, so all it took was a little oil on that spring and we're good to go from that point of view too. Really, really cool. So yeah, one more time just for the heck of it. Yeah. All right, so the glove box and that back cover are switched out. Part of the reason I switched those is because we already ordered them, so they've been sitting in the hood of the car this whole time, and I'm very lucky I haven't broke them. So now they're installed good. The glove box door opens awesomely. I should have oiled that years ago. You used to have to like pry it open with your fingernail and it was just a big pain. So that's fixed now, which is kind of cool. Next steps regarding the actual engine of this thing is we need to start it. So we're going to start it once again since we've already changed fuel lines, fuel pump. Fuel pump's one of those things that could have been causing noise. So that has been changed. So we need to start it just to see what it sounds like still. And now that it's sat with all that new oil in it too. So we're going to do that. Possibly next steps after that are to get this engine pulled. So like I've mentioned a few times, that like noise that we've had with the little metal shavings, it's possibly a bearing that goes on one of the rods. So they kind of mush out from what I've been reading, and you can replace those. So I've been thumbing through that book that I showed last time, and then another person actually suggested to look at the How to Keep Your Volkswagen Alive book. So I've been looking at that too a little bit. Pulling the engine is one of those things that is a little scary. We have limited space. So actually raising this off the ground high enough is making me a little bit nervous. But I've also been reading that people say if you take off one of the wheels, you can kind of slide it out under the wheel well. So we'll kind of see how that goes. We're trying to plan all that out. Yeah, we just want to try to get this thing running decently. So that's one of the next steps. We do have a carb rebuild kit still, like I've mentioned before, but that might be part of the engine pull process. We'll see. Awesome. So yeah, a couple little cosmetic things today just to get them out of the way. I'll leave the old glove box in the front for now, but yeah.